Hi, Des. So thanks for being here today. I appreciate you coming in for this first session. How are you doing today?
Fine.
You're fine? Okay. So, tell me how this sounds. My plan for today was to take a couple minutes, just 5 minutes at the beginning here, to go over a couple things that I think are important for you to know before we move forward. And then after that, it's pretty much up to you where the session goes. You'll have 45 minutes, so I'll, give the floor over to you. You can talk about why you made the initial appointment. You mentioned a couple things in your intake that were of concern to you. Or if you came in here with something else on your mind, you can bring that up as well. Does that sound alright?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that I want to go over is, have you ever been in counseling before?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we use a CBT model. That might sound familiar.
Yeah.
It does sound familiar. Yeah. Okay, so it's cognitive behavior therapy, just to explain it from my perspective. Essentially, the focus is on how your thoughts inform your emotions and behaviors, and you'll see it more as we go. It makes more sense once you see it in practice. The second thing I wanted to talk about was informed consent and confidentiality. You sign the papers in the initial intake, but just a reminder, anything that you say in this session, it won't leave the session. It's a safe space to feel that you can say what you need to say and it won't get out to anybody else. There's the exceptions are if you're a harm to yourself or if you become a danger to yourself or a danger to others. I'll talk to you and we'll get the appropriate people involved, so you can get help and we won't end up hurting yourself or anybody. We don't want you hurt or anybody else hurt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing is just so you know, I'm taking notes. It just helps me remember important themes or points that you make when you're talking. If I need to ask about something or, get you to define something, I'll jot it down. So if you see me writing, that's why. Is that alright?
Yeah.
You don't mind that? Okay. So now I'm going to turn it over to you. Like I said, you can talk about something that you listed a few different things in your initial intake. Kind of broader categories broader things that you were struggling with. You mentioned depression, anxiety, social issues. So if you want to talk about something that you listed there, that's fine. If not, you can talk about something else that's on your mind. It's up to you. Alright? Okay, go ahead. It's up to you. Whatever you want to.
I'm having a hard time going into public.
Okay. What do you mean by that? What do you mean, like, what do you mean by a hard time?
I get freaked out and anxious because there's so many people.
Okay, so some social anxiety?
Yeah.
Okay, how often is this happening? Like, how does this affect you does this affect you on a daily basis? How often are you having social anxiety?
Every time I go out the house.
Okay, is that every day?
No, because I don't go out every day.
Okay.
Because I don't want to. But if I have to, I have it.
Do you want to go out every day?
No.
No. Okay. But when you do go out, how often would you say that you go out and have social anxiety?
Every time.
How often? I mean, like you said, you have social anxiety every time you go outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
But how often do you go outside the house? Like, how much? I'm trying to gather.
Only if need be. Like, work, I'm fine. Getting gas, I'm fine. But they have to go into, like, the stores. And, like, I only have to go, like, get that every week.
So you don't have social anxiety when you go to work?
No, because I know the people. I only work with 5 people.
Oh, okay. So you're comfortable with those people?
Well, yeah.
Okay. So do you go to work every day?
Yeah.
Tell me about your work. Where do you work? What do you do?
I'm a job order picker at an electrical factory.
Okay. What does that involve?
Running around all day like a loon, but I can put in headphones and relax and chill.
Oh, you put headphones in?
Yep.
Do you, like, listen to music or podcasts? What do you do?
Podcast and music.
Okay, do you have headphones in all day?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it it sounds like the job is like all very it has a lot of solitude. Like it seems like you're by yourself. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, so not too much social interaction.
No.
Is that why you don't have social anxiety at work? You said it was only 5 people. Like, what's the reason that you don't get the social anxiety at work?
Because I can just do what I want to do by myself and no one's near me.
Okay, so you're not being social, so obviously no social anxiety.
No.
Okay. So tell me about when you do have the social anxiety. When
Yeah.
does that occur? What does that look like for you?
I freak out and I cry usually and I like get really panicky and I just need to leave out of the area because I feel like I'm suffocating.
So is that what you typically do when you get social anxiety? You leave a situation?
No, because sometimes you can't.
Okay. Like what do
When
you
I
mean?
can, I do. But when I can't, I can't and I'm stuck.
What happens when you can't?
I freak out even more.
Okay. Freak out. What do you mean by freak out? Do you scream? Kick people?
No, I... What?
Oh,
I know the question.
what do you, I said like what do you you're saying like okay when you can't leave a situation and you get socially anxious, you freak out. But like what does that look like? What do you mean by freaking
I mean,
out?
start to get freaking out and panicky and I can't breathe. I feel like everything is going into a tunnel and I get really sick feeling and my breathing goes and I get dizzy and I feel like everybody's at me and everyone's staring at me and everyone's judging me.
So you have
And then I cry and I get shaky. I try to walk away but can't sometimes, clearly.
oh wow, okay. So that sounds like a lot. It's a lot going on. It really affects
Yeah.
you. Okay, okay. So you mentioned some physical symptoms like you cry, you feel like you're panicky, you get really upset. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then something else I noticed that you mentioned, you feel like you mentioned a few things. You said you feel like everybody's coming at you,
Everyone's staring at
you.
me.
Okay. That's when you have the social anxiety, you feel like everybody's staring at you.
Yeah.
Is everybody staring at you?
Yeah. Well, I think they are.
You think they are. What evidence do you have that they are? I guess what I'm saying is when you have the social anxiety, you feel like everybody's staring at you. And then so you have the thought everybody's staring at you. And then what does that do? Does that make the social anxiety worse, better? What happens?
It makes it worse.
Why?
If everyone's staring at me, it makes it worse. Well, because they're staring at me, judging me.
Judging you. Okay. So
So I'll regret, like, if I wear my hair down and I go out to crowd people, I'm like, oh, I'm fine, and start to freak out. Because I'm all, like, everyone's like, oh, look at her hair, looks weird, so I regret that I should have wore it up, even though I have it down. And then even if I try to put it up, it looks bad, and so I have to leave it down, but everyone's looking at me. It's freaking me out, and that's when I get anxiety.
Okay. You think so in that particular situation, you're not happy with your self-image, and then that's what causes the social anxiety?
Yeah, that's one of them. There's many, but that's one.
Okay. So what else causes the social anxiety? Like, why else do you get socially anxious? Is it always self-image? Like,
No,
does it
because if
always-
there's just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of freaking people.
Okay, large crowd. You don't like crowds?
No, I hate crowds.
What
No.
to you is a crowd? How many people?
15.
Okay, so 15 would even be like going to Target or a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Do you typically have social anxiety in those places?
Yeah.
Describe to me the process. You get up, say, what's a place you typically go besides work?
Target.
Target, okay. What might you be getting at Target on a weekly basis?
Hairspray, makeup, or nail polish.
Okay, so,
All black.
all black beauty products. Okay, so, so you go to get black nail polish, black eyeshadow, and, some hairspray. Say, what day of the week would you do that?
Wednesday, because that's when I get paid.
Okay, payday. Gonna go to Target, get what you need. At what point do you start to feel anxious? Like,
Well,
at what
sometimes
point is
I
that?
only go to Target at like 8 in the morning when they open because there's nobody going to be there. But then sometimes I have to go to work right away in the morning. So I'm not able to go. And so I have to go after work, which is usually at like 6:37. And so there's tons of people.
Okay.
And how I feel when I'm going into the Target, there's a lot of cars. So sometimes I'll just drive away and go home instead of going into Target. Because there's so many cars, I don't even want to deal with how many people are going to be in there from the car accuracy.
Okay, so in some cases, the anxiety starts before you even go in the store.
I mean, yeah, because you just look at the
Okay.
cars in the parking lot and you're like, oh my god, there's so many people.
Okay, because it sounds like initially it sounds like a good time. You're gonna go spend some money. It's payday. You're gonna go to Target. It's a Wednesday. Get what you need. So you pull up. You see the parking lot's full, and what do you start thinking? What are you thinking? What's the initial point when this starts to go downhill? Like, this fun trip to Target. When does it go? When does it get bad?
When I see how many cars are in the parking lot,
Okay, and when you see those cars, what do you think?
I'm not going in because there's so many people.
Okay, so you're thinking and what does it mean? Okay, there's a lot of people. What does that mean to you?
I mean, there's nowhere to go. There's overwhelming crowd full of people.
Okay. There's nowhere to go? Do you think, there's not room for you?
You know.
No, there's not room for you in
No,
the
because
store?
there's so many people. It's going to be crowded. You aren't going to be able to get what you want without saying excuse me. And I ain't talking to anybody because I don't like talking to people.
You don't like talking to people?
Especially not random people.
Okay. Why don't you like talking to random people?
Because I don't know them.
Okay, I don't know. Some people like talking to strangers. Are you uncomfortable?
Yeah, I don't want somebody near me.
You, physically close to you?
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
You don't want people physically close to you?
No.
Oh, okay. Just strangers or anybody?
Anybody.
Okay, okay. Big personal bubble, space bubble?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking. So, you see the parking lot full of cars, and one of the thoughts that you have is, there's too many people here, I'm not going to do this, I don't want people near me, it's too crowded. What if you pull up and there's not a lot of cars? Does that happen before? You said you've gone sometimes in the morning and it's not crowded.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get socially anxious on those trips when it's less crowded?
I mean, if somebody's in my way, yeah, and I just, avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's not a lot of people, I'm typically well endowed.
Oh, you don't get anxious if there's not a lot of people?
Not typically. I mean, to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just probably because I'm rushing.
Oh, okay. So you're in a hurry and you feel like... What?
Hey,
People are gonna
go.
And you can't when there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, take me through an ideal trip to Target. No social anxiety. What are you thinking when you get into Target?
Well, I'm not going to be thinking of anything because I'm just going to get what I got to get and get out.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
So you're gonna
go maybe look at clothing extra.
Okay.
I'll be able to go look at CDs and extra.
Okay.
But if there's two people, I ain't doing it.
Okay.
I'm going to be in and out if I need the product. If I don't need it, I'll just hold off until a later time so I don't have to go near people.
Okay. So it's kind of negatively affecting you because you may go thinking that I want to get this or I want to get that, and if you go to that aisle and there's too many people, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, no.
Okay. And then what does that feel like when you don't get to get what you wanted?
I mean, I just always I can go back at later time, but if I need it, I'm just like, oh great, I'll just go without it.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you feel?
I wish I would have gotten the product I needed.
Okay. But that social anxiety prevented it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it kind of just to pause for a second, we've established that, if this sounds right to you, social anxiety is preventing you from doing not just what you want to do, but also what you need to do, on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's really, you said, it's crowd, so 15 plus people in an area is too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I describe an ideal life without social anxiety.
I mean, I'd be able to go and do what I wanted to when I wanted to, where I wanted to, without worrying about anything but what I'm doing at that very exact moment.
Okay, no barriers, sort of thing.
No regrets, yeah.
No regrets. More freedom, it sounds like. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Okay, I'm just thinking for a second. Trying to think about what's going through your mind when you get socially anxious. That's what I want to understand, because you said when you get socially anxious, you're upset. You basically, the behaviors that you abandon the situation. If you can leave, you leave. If not, you freak out.
Yeah.
You get upset. You feel crappy. You have physical symptoms. So I'm trying to gather, what are you thinking? Like, what is it about social situations that just aren't working with you?
Well, because I'm not just by myself, I feel like everyone's attacking me.
You feel like everyone's attacking you when there's a group of people near you?
Yeah.
Attacking. What do you mean by attacking?
Or judging me. Or, like, I could be attacked potentially by somebody.
Are you
Physically.
Are you actually scared? Like, is that a
Yeah, that's
fear
a
of yours?
fear. You don't understand how many shootings there are in grocery stores. That could happen
okay.
easily.
Okay.
Or just women looking at you, judging you because you don't look like them.
Okay. You actually talked about the looks a little bit earlier. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
You have.
What?
What was that? You have what? Did you say body dysmorphia? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thoughts that you have about how you look aren't, they're not accurate always. When you
Yeah,
have
I
these
know.
bad
No, I
thoughts.
know that.
Oh, okay. And that's actually the second time that came up, so maybe we can talk about that for a second. Do you want to talk about that for a minute? About the,
No, I want to stay on the social anxiety.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the biggest problem at this point.
The social anxiety. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fine. We can focus on that. Okay, so you go somewhere and you get socially anxious because you feel that people are judging you for not looking or looking a certain way.
Yeah.
And then you also feel that you could be physically attacked. Are you scared?
I mean, yeah.
Like, you're actually scared?
Yeah, you're nervous,
okay.
scared, and just, like, looking around.
Okay.
At any moment, anybody could strike.
Okay, so there's kind of...
And unless you don't know those people,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know who those people are, you don't know, like,
Okay.
what's with them.
Okay. They're strangers. You can't know everybody when you go into
no.
a public place. And this is a crowded area. It's a relatively big area. A lot of different people. Okay, so... Okay, let's focus on one of these. You say that people are judging you because... You said people are judging you because you don't look how they look, or... Right? You don't... No.
Yeah, they don't. I don't look how they look,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, look at her." Like I just feel like they're judging on my presence.
Mm-hmm. Judging. What do you mean by judging?
Like they're staring at my piercings or my gauges or my hair, and like, "Oh, look, she's in black band tees."
Mm-hmm.
Like that weirdo.
So that they're judging you by they're making negative assumptions about you based on what
Yeah,
you
or
look
like it's not okay. So that's false because. It's not true. Because it's like, oh, if my hair looks bad and I go out, I think everybody else thinks my hair looks bad and they're judging me because my hair looks bad.
Mm-hmm. When you...
If I don't like how I look, other people don't... I don't think anybody else will like how I look.
Okay, do you care how other people think you look?
No.
You don't? Okay, so how does that... So if you go out, you have a cool style, it sounds like. You do your own thing. You have a unique style, I would say. So, you look how you want to look, right? Mm-hmm. Confident how you look. Mm-hmm. How does that match up with, so, help me understand, how does that match up with you feeling socially anxious because people may be judging you or thinking that they don't like the way you look, or that you're having a bad, people look at you and they're like, oh, she's having a bad hair day.
Yeah.
How does that match up with the fact that you have this cool style and you look unique, you have a nice style? Like, how does that match up?
That they think that I look weird even though I don't care what they think.
Okay, so you don't care what they think. Then how does that work with this fear of judgment?
I just feel like they're judging me. I don't care if they're judging, or I don't care that they stare at me.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also like, why don't you have anything to better do with yourself than judge a random person?
Mm-hmm. Or do you know that they're judging you?
No.
Mm-hmm. Do you judge everybody when you go out?
No.
Some people?
No. I don't really care about any other people.
Okay. Alright, so then, what makes you think that everybody else does?
That they judge me?
Mm-hmm. If you don't do that and that's not the way you think, what makes you think that?
Because they're not me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you say that, you mean that just because you don't go around judging everybody doesn't mean that other people don't.
Yeah.
Okay, and people may potentially judge you. People
Oh,
do
I
judge.
know.
But why is that an
it's
issue?
just all in my head.
What do you mean by that?
That everyone's judging me, even though they're not.
Oh, so you know that so you know that when you have these thoughts, everybody's judging me. It's probably not always true. Oh, okay. What if it were true? What if you went to the store and there was...
Well, because sometimes it could be. It's a 50-50 either they're judging me or they're not judging me. Or they're judging me, I think they are, and they are. Or if they're not judging me, and they're not, and I know they're not. But I still think they are.
Okay. What happens if they're judging you? What's the worst thing that could happen?
If they say it to me?
I don't know. Just, I mean, I don't know. It's bold. Do people typically say things to you about your looks in a negative way?
No.
Like, you won't go up to a stranger and be like, I hate your shirt.
No.
Okay. So, I mean, I'm sure there's people that would, but I don't know. Is that common in your experiences?
No.
Okay, so, worst case scenario. You're in an aisle at Target getting hairspray, and a woman's judging you because she doesn't like your hair, or she doesn't like your piercings. What's the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that could happen in that situation? Like, okay, is that weird?
No.
Is that a confusing question?
Yeah.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm asking, like, okay, why does the judgment... You don't care.
Well, I don't know they're judging me.
No, but you're thinking that they may be.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say anything to them. I'm just going to skedaddle away.
Yeah, and those thoughts are making you think socially anxious.
Yeah, like, oh my god, I look terrible, I look gross, I gotta get out of here for anybody else thinks I'm gross and ugly. Or I start to think that I look gross and ugly.
What if somebody thought you were, like, ugly? But somebody thinks you're ugly. I'm sure, right? They say that not everybody in the world is going to find you attractive or unattractive.
Yeah, no, I know
What
that.
happened if there was a random woman at the store and she thought you were ugly?
And she told me that I was ugly?
No, she just thought it.
I don't know if she's thinking it.
Yeah.
How do I know that she's thinking it?
I don't know. I guess you don't.
Oh, I get it now.
You don't, right? You never...
No.
You can never confirm what people are thinking.
No.
Okay, so tell me about a time... Okay, give me an example. Tell me about a time when you went to the store and things went badly because you felt that somebody might be judging you.
Oh, well, I went to the store and... Like, I thought my hair looked bad. So I, like, go in, try to avoid everyone, but there was people.
Like, when what? Like, give me a specific name. I want details. Walk through a time.
Oh, I was
walk me
looking,
through an
when I got
experience.
that black jacket I'm wearing right now, actually, there was tons of people standing around the coat section, and they just were, like, looking at coats. I was like, yo, I want to get up in here because I need a sweatshirt for work, and I was going on my way to work, so I had to stop before, because it was cold out that morning. I didn't have one out of the closet. Because I put them away because, you know, winter's not here yet. And, they were standing around. And I was like, oh, I didn't want to say excuse me, that's just awkward, so I just waited, and it was, like, staring at me, like, why is this woman, like, standing there waiting to get to these coats, and we're the ones here.
Do you know that that's what they were thinking?
No, but they were all looking at me like I'm a loon.
Oh, okay, so maybe they thought, potentially, you thought that they, believed you were in the way, and they wanted to look, and they were like, why is this weirdo standing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So going back, you felt that they could be judging you?
Yeah.
Okay. And what if they were judging you? How would that affect you?
I mean, it didn't. I don't
It
think
didn't
it
affect
did. It makes me think, like, oh my god, why am I here? I probably look like a crazy person right now.
So the judgment makes you feel like you don't belong. Like, why do I even bother coming?
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
kind of goes back to some of that, avoidance that you talked about. How sometimes if you don't have to go out, you just won't go out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And, what if people aren't judging you? Best case scenario.
If people aren't judging me?
Like you're out in like a social situation where people don't even glance at you. Like, do you still get socially anxious if you're in a crowd? They're not judging you. Like, you know they're not judging you. They don't look at you. They don't pay. You know mine. There's people busy with their kids.
Yeah, because
shopping.
I still think I'm suffocated because there's tons of people around me. They're too close to my body.
Okay.
Even
okay.
if they're not paying no attention to me, they're too close to me.
So we kind of touched on this before. There's kind of multiple reasons for the social anxiety. It's not just that you're fearing that, or it's not just that you feel that people are judging you. It's all, or like you mentioned before, that you feel like you could, like, it makes you nervous because you feel like you could be in danger, and it's strangers. You don't know their intentions. It's also that you just feel like it's sort of
Claustrophobic.
Yeah, claustrophobic. Okay, I didn't want to use that word if that wasn't a right.
No,
way.
that's accurate.
The right way to describe it. Okay. Is there one? I'm trying to pinpoint what exactly is. What are the main factors that cause the social anxiety? Is it simply it's the judgment? Which ones, is there one that is more pressing than the other? Is it just that you fear judgment? Is it is it mostly judgment, and then it's also like, well, I don't like people close to me
Mostly
physically?
because I'm uncomfortable in crowds. I don't like being in crowds normally, so I don't want to do it. Like, I don't like being in them so I don't have anxiety. I don't like being in crowds no matter what. But then put on the anxiety on top of it, it makes it 10 times worse.
Did you say you don't typically have anxiety?
No. Say I won't have anxiety.
Oh, okay.
I always have anxiety.
Okay, so say you weren't anxious, you probably just won't like crowds. That's
I don't like crowds typically, but then
Okay.
it's like, oh wait, look, there was some anxiety on top of that with grain of salt, and I have it worse.
Okay, it's just too much.
Okay.
And so you don't like crowds, whatever. Nobody likes being that close to people anyway.
No.
But when it gets unbearable is when you have the feelings of anxiety. Yeah. And it just becomes too much. And that's when you, like, as you said at the beginning, you freak out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just thinking here for a second. I want to help you better identify the thoughts that you have that sort of create the anxiety. So I'm going to give a personal example. I'm a really socially anxious person. I always have been. So my biggest thing is public speaking. So I have to give a presentation, and I know I did the presentation well. I know I'm capable of. I did the research. I have the information. I know I'm capable of presenting it. I could do it in front of a couple people, but when that crowd gets too big, I can kind of relate to you with the fear of judgment. I don't like everybody staring at me. And sort of my thought process is, I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna stutter, and it's kind of weird because it feels automatic. It feels like, oh, the social anxiety is just there. Like I go up there, I think I'm good to go. I'm gonna present, and then all of a sudden I'm sweating and I got a red face, and it just goes downhill. So what I'm trying to get, what I want to help you get at, and you tell me what this, if this, how this sounds, is I want to get at that space between where it feels automatic. So you're initially okay. You're leaving the house. You get there, you start shopping, you see a group of people, and you're trying to shop in their area, and all of a sudden, socially anxious, you abort the situation, you don't get what you
Well,
need.
even
you
before
leave the store.
even before I leave the house, sometimes I freak out. Like I get panicky, and so if I'm not driving, I'll just have like a quick shot of alcohol because it calms me down.
Oh, okay, okay. So are you gonna drive then? Because
No, I said if I'm not driving.
oh, if you're not
If
driving,
I have
okay.
to drive, and there's like I'm like oh crap, I'm like in that situation, you just progress and describe.
So, oh, okay, okay. This is a good point though. What does the alcohol do? Okay, you said you take a shot. What do you take a shot of?
Whiskey.
Okay, what is that? What does the whiskey do that makes you feel that?
Oh, it
Does that
calms my
completely get-
nerves and makes me not give two craps about anybody or anything or what anyone's thinking of me.
Okay, so, that's like a coping mechanism. That alcohol makes you not care what people are thinking, and then you don't have the social anxiety.
Yeah.
Even if it's a crowd of 25 people?
No, I still get it, but I'll just keep drinking more.
Okay. And you said that it makes you not care what other people think. Okay, so say you are driving, and that's what it's unsafe, right?
Yeah, I won't drink if I'm driving. I said that.
Okay, okay, so but you're anxious before you even leave the house in those cases. Before you even get in your truck, you're anxious.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you thinking about?
Everybody's going to be at the store. Mm-hmm. And so, what I did to help with that, which isn't always helpful, because I can't do it all the time, I only leave the house at certain times.
And it's kind of restricting.
And certain days, because it avoids traffic, it avoids crowds, and it, yeah.
So you're sort of giving yourself a schedule.
Yeah.
Is that effective? Is it restrictive?
Yeah.
It's restrictive. Because
Well,
you have
yeah,
to limit your schedule.
Say I need something on Tuesday, but Tuesdays are always super crowded at the store. I have to wait till Walmart.
Okay, okay. So kind of how it goes back to what you said earlier, a little earlier, how you'll go to the store and you need something and you end up leaving without it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do that with like days and times.
Oh, okay, okay. And okay, so there's sort of like a checks and balance system. If you go these days, these times, you won't get socially anxious.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that effective?
No. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
But it's still a problem because, I mean, you're here for it. It's still obviously an issue. It's not.
Yeah, because like I always can't do that if I have to my work schedule change.
Okay. I get that. It's not always realistic to only be able to go to the store on certain days at certain times
Yeah.
to get what you need.
Yeah.
Okay, because at some point you're going to have to go outside of those times.
Yeah.
Okay.